Week 35 Day 1. A modern Aesop. The telling of a story in simple terms that has an inherently important message is a venerable art form. The parable may be found teaching a moral lesson in the Bible. Aesop is an incontrovertible master of the fable. This story form is far from antiquated as shown by the whimsical approach to life taken by the modern Aesop, James Thurber. His stories lampoon the strange behavior of his fellow men. Thurber seems unable to countenance the ideas that permeate our society regarding the rules by which we should live. Least of all is he able to accept the sanctimonious notion that some people promulgate that good always wins out against evil. Thurber's stories often take an exactly opposite point of view. Sample sentences. 1. Jonathan Swift was never reticent to lampoon the egotist in order to bring him down with alacrity. 2. What one person finds whimsical, the other may find asinine. 3. The expression, sour grapes, is the gist of a famous parable about a fox who couldn't get what he wanted. 4. We should eschew our sanctimonious facade, away with pretext. 5. If we want to live in a salubrious milieu, we cannot countenance the noisome fumes that are deleterious to health. Week 35 Day 2. Modernizing a parable. Thurber punctures in an incisive way the platitudes that come from stories handed down through the generations. These old saws are accepted by everyone. One such tale is about a tortoise who had read in an ancient book that a tortoise had beaten a hare in a race. The sage old tortoise construed this story to mean that he could outrun a hare. With equanimity he hunted for a hare and soon found one. "Do you have the effrontery to challenge me?" asked the incredulous hare. "You are a nonentity," he scoffed at the tortoise. A course of 50 feet was set out. The other animals gathered around the sight. At the sound of the gun they were off. When the hare crossed the finish line, the flabbergasted tortoise had gone approximately 8¾ inches. The moral Thurber draws from this debacle for the tortoise. A new broom may sweep clean, but never trust an old saw. Sample sentences. 1. He was a precocious youngster, but he soon reached the nadir of his career, lost all of his prestige, and became a nonentity. 2. Do you have the effrontery to take that supercilious and facetious attitude toward something as sinister as this? 3. These turbulent times require a leader who does not go into a capricious pique, but rather one who faces acrimonious criticism with equanimity. 4. When the judge exonerated the charlatan, we were all flabbergasted. 5. The fortuitous appearance of a relief column permitted an adroit escape from the imminent debacle. Week 35 Day 3. Things have changed. Thurber modernizes an old story that everyone has read or heard. It has to do with a nefarious wolf who kept a vigil in an ominous forest, until a little girl came along carrying a basket of food for her grandmother. With alacrity, this vivacious youngster told the wolf the address to which she was going. Hungry and gaunt, the wolf rushed to the house. When the girl arrived and entered, she saw someone in bed wearing a nightcap and a nightgown. While the figure was dressed like her grandmother, the little girl surmised with only a perfunctory glance that it didn't have the old lady's mien. She approached and became cognizant of the hirsute face of the wolf. She drew a revolver from her purse and shot the interloper dead. Thurber arrives at a moral for this story that anyone would find difficult to refute. It is not so easy to fool little girls nowadays as it used to be. Sample sentences. 1. She had a mien of humility, but it was only a facade. 2. He did not waste time trying to refute an irrelevant and tortuous argument. 3. You may have discerned that it is no longer the latest vogue among boys to permit their faces to become hirsute. 4. They were struck by the anomaly of one twin who was phlegmatic while the other was vivacious. 5. Women strive for the slender and occurrent gaunt look. Week 35 Day 4. Another surprise. Thurber's stories are written in a jocose manner, but they contain enough serious matter to make one pensive. He tells of some builders who left a pane of glass standing upright in a field near a house they were constructing. A goldfinch flew across the field, struck the glass and was knocked inert. He rushed back and divulged to his friends that the air had crystallized. The other birds derided him, said he had become irrational, and gave a number of reasons for the accident. The only bird who believed the goldfinch was the swallow. The goldfinch challenged the large birds to follow the same path he had flown. This challenge served to whet their interest, and they agreed with gusto. Only the swallow abjured. The large birds flew together and struck the glass. They were knocked into a stupor. This caused the astute swallow to wince with pain. Thurber drew a moral that is the antithesis of the cliché we all accept. He who hesitates is sometimes saved. Sample sentences. 1. He was in such a stupor as a result of the accident that this precluded his hearing my condolence. 2. If you juxtapose one cliché with another, you often get completely opposite lessons about life. 3. The hostile rebuke made the usually phlegmatic boy wince. 4. You cannot whet his desire for the theater with dubious histrionics. 5. The fervid marriage proposal made the shy girl pensive.